Damn these Biloxi blues, it happens every night.
Every old night.
And I ain't never met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine.
Hate them, riverboat dealers.
Summer heat never treats me kind, it leaves trouble on my mind. So I'm bidding farewell, putting in my notice, and I'll see you at another time.
Y'all sang.
This highway does not know my name, and I don't care.
No.
I don't care. Headed my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare.
Right to the hook.
Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.
Oh, budget live, not so live from the Low Budget Live Bar and Grill here in beautiful southern Middle Tennessee. And this is the podcast for April 17th, 2023, and I hope all of you low-lifers are doing well out there, no matter what you got going on this fine Monday, April the 17th. And we're just rolling through this month like it ain't even there, like it's standing still. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, you're wondering what a low-lifer is, well, that's what the listeners of this program refer to themselves as, and you just by guilt of association are now a low-lifer, so congratulations. It's hallowed ground around these parts. Welcome, everybody. It's another week in the bar and grill, man. After being on the road, this week was a great week on the road. Not a work week on the road. This was a doing work on the road kind of week on some bass with my dudes Carter Andrews and my buddy Ryan Engelman. Had just a fantastic time, man. Had a lot of laughs, a lot of hook sets. Going to be putting together a couple of videos from the trip, but can't thank Carter enough for hosting Ryan and I down there for a few days of bass fishing heaven, to say the least. Carter is involved in a very special project going on down there in Florida where they're trying to grow the next state record largemouth, and we got to go play with some of those fish. So going to show you that. Never had it 1 over 10. Unfortunately, that was the goal. This is called the Tito's and 10 Pounders Tour by myself and Mr. Engelman. And Tito's, we did enjoy some Tito's. We did enjoy some fine food, and we did enjoy a lot of big bass. We just did not break that 10-pound mark. Ryan, that old guitar slinging SOB, he had an opportunity at a freak of nature. The bigged bass I've ever seen in person in my boat anyways. And I'd given him a big old mop jig to throw in this lake. It was different for a typical Florida lake, and deeper, and they were hanging around his break, and I was catching a lot of them on a big mag shaky head and a Zoom mag trick worm. And he loves to throw a jig. Man, I had him this big old, just 3/4 ounce beast with a big old hook in it and big old trailer, and caught several on it, and he hooked the one, and it came off, but jumped and got it all on GoPro, and it was something, man. It was a crazy trip though. Those guys, it was good for the soul. I needed it. Work stuff, I mentioned that. Life is crazy. Work is crazy. Crazier than I want it to be a lot of days, to be honest, on the work side of it. And it's a good break. Just turned it off for a few days. Notice if you follow me on social, I was quiet on social for the most part. Just kind of enjoyed the moment with those guys, and some great conversations, great laughs. And to be honest, anybody that ever thought it was a good idea to put us three in a boat together, I don't know. The universe may be out of order now after putting a saltwater fishing legend, a bass fishing podcast guy, and a Telecaster bending in half Okie from Turnpike Troubadours on a bass boat. 3 smart asses too, I might add. And man, it was you got to have thick skin around that crew, but damn good time. But while I was there, if you remember last week, I was talking about how Good Friday was not that good around here at the Duncan House due to a flood. Well, the triple threat while I was gone called our insurance company to have that looked at. She's like, I'm going to see, and all we could see was the water down. And with water, we could see the water spots in the roof, whatnot. And they sent a crew out here from Serve Pro. They ripped our ceilings out. They ripped all the flooring out of the upstairs and the boys' bathroom and bedrooms. They have these gigantic industrial fans going everywhere. It's a damn mess, man. And she called me almost in tears, like, this is what's got to happen. They're going to drive the house out. Then it's on us to get a contractor. So, been dealing with this deck dilemma since October. Now we got this. Whole house is torn apart. Our house sounds like there's a 747 in the damn living room. We're hiding up in the bedroom to watch TV. Kids are all piled up in their rooms. Can't even sit together in the living room. So anyway, it's been a wild last few days around here. I was gone for a lot of it. Now I'm back. I've been back here for a few days now, and it's chaotic. It's chaotic, and fixing to travel to MPFL again this coming week. But damn, man, it's just when it rains, it pours, no doubt about it. And it's what's kind of going on around here. Take the good with the bad, right? There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good. We are here with you low-lifers once again, and we got these good sponsors to thank. Let's do that, and let's we're going to jump into it. We got a fantastic guest today, a LBL veteran, to say the very least, today on the show. StarTron, kicking ethanol in the teeth in your weed eater, in your chainsaw, but most importantly, in your outboard engine. Been traveling this week, like I said, and ethanol is everywhere. It's everywhere, hiding in the corner, waiting to ruin your engine, waiting to make sure you can never use your chainsaw or weed eater again. Can I get an amen if that happens, though, right? Damn, I hate that. But I want that outboard to crank every single time I turn the Yamaha up to take off. I don't want that thing saying, bah, because stupid dumb ethanol. So StarTron, little dab will do you in your tank, kick ethanol in the teeth. With StarTron, you don't have to shake it. I like to shake it. Of course I do. Been supporting the podcast for many years now. We appreciate the folks down there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Pro Guide Batteries, ProGuideBatteries.com. Again, another fishing trip, standing on it. We had absolute horrible weather 2 of the 3 days that we got on the water. 25-mile-an-hour straight line winds, and I worked my trolling motor batteries. Worked them. No issues. I'm blown away by the Pro Guide lithiums. Check them out. Use code LBL10 when you get there on ProGuideBatteries.com to let them know you are a low lifer, and let them know we sent you. Baitworks.com, bait-works.com, home of the LOB jig, that power finesse jig that gets lots of bites, available now at Baitworks, and peanut butter and jelly as well. 6 original colors that we came out with, and we just added PB&J, so 7 colors, 2 sizes, 3/8 and a half there in that LOB. Go get you some right now, along with every other thing they got in stock. Huge mega bass selection there. Great lineup of mag drafts. It's Maggie season. They got the freestyle Maggies on there as well. Go get those. Get them all at bait-works.com. Use Duncan-10 to save some cash. I see y'all low-lifers doing that out there. I get emails when that happens. Appreciate y'all letting them know what's up, that y'all are low-lifers. And last but not least, hang the banner and illuminate it red. Jazzy red right behind me. Express Boats, Hot Springs, Arkansas. The original all-welded aluminum bass boat, 21 feet of Fury, 96-inch beam, C-deck bow to stern, 250 Yamaha show strapped to the back. Hang on and send it. More tackle storage than you can shake a stick at. And I want to speak to the stability of this boat, because I'm a fat boy. I'm a fat boy. Carter Andrews is a big boy. He's a big dude. Ryan, pretty good sized fella too. Pretty good sized fella. Having 3 grown ass men in a bass boat is not always ideal. I've had a lot of different bass boats. You can feel people moving around. And I will say the stability of the Express X21 blows me away because we had gear. The boat was a disaster. But amazed at how that boat performs over and over and over and over. And I don't know why I keep like throwing it challenges and thinking it will not pass, but it absolutely does with flying colors. Express X21 Pro LE. Go check it out at your local dealer. If you take a drive in one, I promise you, it will become one of your favorite boats out there. Express Boats, building excitement since 1966. All right. Good times, man. I absolutely love getting to go on a trip anymore that's not tournament related, that is just snatching, just setting the hook. Got to fish Headwaters while I was down there. Wonderful place. Cool place. Was really impressed. We had horrible conditions. Again, didn't catch any real big ones, but lots of bites. Just a really cool fishery. It feels like Florida should to me, which is lots of hydrilla, reeds, pads, just boat lane. Really cool lake that I would look forward to getting to go spend some time again. And then again with Carter, fishing a couple different lakes there with him on a deal he's got. And just awesome time, man. Damn, I love fishing. I have not been getting to go as much as I like to. And so it was good to play catch up a little bit for a few days and hang out with some good friends. That is for sure. So in the fishing world, this I feel like I'm a guy. I know I'm a guy that I will admit when I'm wrong. I'm a guy that will eat a little crow if he's got to. And I want to say congratulations to Ben Milliken on just blowing the damn doors off the Bassmaster Open. Finished in the top 5 at the first one. Ben and I knew Ben when I was with Sixth Sense. That relationship with Sixth Sense did not end well for several different reasons. And but Ben's a guy I've spent some time on a boat with. I've spent a lot of time around, and Ben's a great angler. He is a great angler. Whether we see eye to eye every day on everything, he's a great angler. I will say I am surprised. I'm not surprised he won. I'm not surprised he won the way he won. And I'm not. It's amazing to me that he was able to do it that quick, because he has fished a lot of tournaments, but a lot of smaller tournaments, and those opens are a monster, man. And he's got a top 5 and now a win, and that's damn impressive. That's damn impressive. I don't care who it is. That's impressive. Brett Cannon, another a guy that I think the world of, that I met down there in good old Tejas. Great dude. He's 2 top 10s in a row. John Garrett's 2 top 10s in a row. Guys catching. Little Trey McKinney finishing second down there. Trey's a force to be reckoned with. But what Ben did for 3 days down there was nothing short of amazing, impressive, and anything else you can throw at it. So props to Ben Milliken. It's going to be an interesting year. Ben's a guy, he's well connected. He's got a great network. I don't think he will ever roll up anywhere and not know what he should be doing. And then when he applies his spin on it, which is, he's a forward-facing sonar dude. He is great with big baits. It's going to be interesting to see. They've got some tough fisheries in this schedule. I see a lot of people just like, he's going to walk to the elites, and he might. It looks like it right now. He's going to be leading those Opens, EQs, Angler of the Year by a chunk right now. But there's 7 more to go. It's like I said, a lot of tough fisheries. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch. But, for people to be like, it's a lot of things like, oh, well, YouTubers can fish. He can. I never doubted that he could fish at all. It's a little suspect. And I've always been the guy like, put your money where your mouth is, because Ben is that dude that's like, biggest 5-fish stringer ever, freaking ever. And he's caught plenty of those. on a lot of lakes, like on a Tuesday. You know what I mean? And a very talented angler on special bodies of water in Texas and different parts of the world. I'm like, put your money where your mouth is. And I said it on this show. And you know what? By God, he didn't do it to spite me. He did it. And knowing Ben a little bit over the years, Ben's dream, we did a podcast. You can go back and listen to it from years ago. I forget when we did that. I think he's been on twice actually on LBO. But his dream as a kid in Nebraska was to be a bass pro, not to be a YouTuber. The YouTube angle opened up for him, quit his full-time job to pursue it. I mean, the dude has rolled the dice. He's taken risks, and it's crazy. Now he's going to the damn Bassmaster Classic, dude. He's going to the Bassmaster Classic. I mean, unless something happens and he doesn't fish all of them, which I don't see that happening, of course, for a lot of different reasons. But in that Central Division there, if he completes it, he goes to the Classic. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I think that he put another feather in his cap. He's already done. He's caught a ton of giant bass over 10 pounds, different things. But it's a different crowd in those opens, man. I've done it myself. I know many fantastic fishermen. You look down that list of standings, and there's just name after name after name, and he throttled them. So we'll see. We'll see. So congrats to Ben. Congrats to everybody that had a great event there. It's a long year. We'll see how it shakes out. Those elites are going to only get tougher with the crowd that is coming. That is for sure. You know, one thing I will say before we move on to our guest that surprises me, and I said this when Rob Turkla from the Guggen Squad decided to fish MPFL and whatever else he fished, Toyotas. And I actually asked him this on the podcast that Mercer and I did with him. I'm like, you don't strike me as a guy that can handle an ass kicking. And he did it one year, and he kind of left it, right? I mean, they don't need to. Like, Ben doesn't need this. Ben's a very successful guy, but I think this is something that Ben, has been his dream, and now he is proving to himself and to others that he can indeed fish events, big events. And for me, it's a gigantic risk, dude, that I think that angle of it is something that, and I said this, like I said, with Turkla. Now, look, big difference in him and Turkla, okay? I want to say that. Ben's fished his whole life. He's been immersed in tournament fishing. Rob's not. Rob's not that guy. Rob's been very successful through the YouTube thing and all that, but Ben is definitely, he's a tournament guy. And Rob's said on this very show he was not. And I'm not trying to compare the two. I just see a lot of people doing that online right now, comparing the YouTube thing. Not all are created equal. And even in this interview you're about to hear, we recorded this last night. My guest says, well, it legitimizes YouTubers. It doesn't legitimize YouTubers. It doesn't, or influencers. It legitimizes Ben. You can't, the two aren't the same. I mean, that is what he does. That's who he is. But that doesn't legitimize everybody that's ever had a YouTube channel that's a fisherman, because we see them come and go, right? They're all successful in their own individual ways. But, yeah, man, I think it's a big risk when you've got a big ego, when you've got this platform. It's a risk to put yourself out there, and that's exactly what you're doing if you're Ben in this situation. And he's 2 for 2 on telling everybody to shut the hell up, basically, myself included. Because I did make a statement one time on this very show that YouTubers can't be pro fishermen and pro fishermen can't be YouTubers. I said that on this show. Now, I have also said that YouTubers want to be pro fishermen and that pro fishermen want to be YouTubers, and that paradigm shift is definitely what's happening on a weekly basis still. I said that a couple years ago, actually. But that's something that's definitely taken place. And Ben is the first from that, hey, I'm going to make a living making fishing videos world that is now showing up and showing out and putting his money where his mouth is. And I respect him for that. I do. Because it ain't easy to fail. It's not easy to fail, to risk failure online in front of hundreds of thousands of people that follow you, certainly the haters that don't like you for one reason or another. It's not easy, man. So congrats to him. And again, it's going to be a very interesting year, but that's a big story, dude. And for me, it was cool Like I said, Ben and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, but for me, it was cool seeing the outpouring of support from his followers on the Bassmaster comments. And hell, I know Bassmaster's excited about it because it's a shot in the arm that I think any tournament organization would gladly want to see. And his fans are very loyal, and they showed up, man. You know, they did. So I'm sure his videos from this will be great. And dude, he smashed. He smashed. He's got some unique techniques he was utilizing, and we're playing a different game now. And I think he is. He's very good at this new game. He can also just go down the bank. He's just a good angler, but with forward facing sonar, big baits, showing fish things they haven't seen as they get pressured, like the dude's he's good at that. So he showed it. All right, enough rambling about that, but wanted to touch on that because it's big news. It's a big flag in the moon of pro fishing for influencers, for sure, you know. But for Ben personally, because like I said, I've known Ben, it's a big deal for him, man. It's a big deal. He's going to the damn Bassmaster Classic. So love him, hate him. If you're listening to the show and you're not a fan of his, whatever, you got to respect it because what he did, 3-day total, like 77 pounds, whatever, 76, freaking stepping on the gas, stepping on it. So, all right, moving on. So this guy that we're fixing to talk to here, I already recorded it a little bit earlier, but this guy that we're fixing to talk to, we're going to get the sauce from him presented by the W Sauce. And let me just tell you something. The W Sauce, the original America's own Worcestershire sauce, they got this new breakfast sauce right here. Buddy, last weekend, taters, eggs, whatever you want to put it on. It's really good. Got a kick. Got a little bit of a kick. It's almost a I don't want to put it in this vein, but it's a hot sauce. But not hot. Like a Tabasco, it's got a flash, got a great pepper flavor to it. It's all Florida ingredients. Check it out, the breakfast sauce from the W Sauce, Barry & Burton's. The breakfast sauce out now. It's fantastic. I'm a breakfast addict. So the sauce right here with some guy, the oldest man in bass fishing. Don't even know why he's still out there. He's got a terrible beard. He's just hobbling around out there, just trying to make ends meet. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite human beings on planet Earth. Felt like this was a good week to check in with him. We haven't had him on the show in a while. He's the funniest man in bass fishing. He is one of the greatest ambassadors this sport will ever see. And if you don't believe it, go look at social media and you'll understand why. Ladies and gentlemen, the G-Man, Gerald Swindle.
That's how we like to start off right here, Low Budget Live, folks. When we say we low budget, we got the iPhone propped up on a Yeti cup, held up with a hot spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, there he is. None other than my brother, the G-Man, Gerald Swindle. And I think that's a proper way of starting it, right? I think the iPhone falling down, that's low budget. The show,
it's our life, Luke. I mean, has anything ever been easy for Luke Duncan and Gerald Swindle?
Listen, your story is one of the most remarkable ones just in life of all the people I know from just hard work and nose on the grindstone. But no, it don't come easy for you. You make it look easy. I think folks go, man, I like to be that G-Man's got it made. And I think, hell, I know him in his personal life. That boy struggles all the time.
I mean, struggle, just trying to stay upright, you know. And when the classic was over, we went straight home, and I told Lynn, I said, I love fans, I love people, but I said, we parked the truck, and dude, we got our stuff in the other truck in 2 hours. We drove straight to Jasper. She said, what are we going to do? I said, it's 5 or 6 days, no people, me and you. We're going to go sit in the woods. Whether we kill a turkey or not, we're going to go sit in the woods. I said, we got to reset. Like we were sitting out there, and I told her, I said, I seen a podcast with Kevin Gates, and they asked him like how he turned his whole career around. And he said that he got off social media for like a year and a half. He just didn't do it. And they said, what did you do? And he said, I went hunting. I went fishing because that's what I did as a kid. He said, that's how God resets you. And I thought it was amazing. He said that. He said, when you go out into Mother Nature, if you ain't got it together, you don't kill nothing. But like when me and Leanne sat down by a tree, she leaned around a tree, she started asking me questions. I was like, we played a quiet match. She looked at me, I'm like, she said, I have a hard time resetting. I'm like, you got to go somewhere and sit and let it calm down.
Dude, that's so true. And you know, my life is crazy, and I take on a lot of different things. And this year, for some reason, that has hit me more than ever. Is it does take that, whether it's sitting in a deer stand in the quiet, and it's always been that way to a certain extent, but this year in particular, but sitting in a deer stand this past winter, but sitting in the turkey woods with my boys, going and messing with cameras. But I'll be honest with you, a couple of weeks ago, things were just haywire. TH Marine, lots of things going on. And Marissa, I was hooking up a little side by side. She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "To the farm." She said, "Well, it ain't any kind of hunting season." I said, "I know." She said, "Well, what are you going to go do?" I said, "I'm going to go sit and watch the sun go down." She said,
"It's simple. Just, I want to go sit and listen to a whippoorwill.
Just for a little bit. No phone service. Just want to sit there, breathe a little bit, hear the birds singing, hear the crows, whatever. And it gets dark, come on." She goes, "I mean, you don't want me to go with you?" And I said, "If you want to sit there and be quiet, I'm just going to be quiet." Triple threat.
Right. My brother texted me the other day. He moved out on 20 acres. He said, "Gee," he said, "I've been seeing turkeys every morning come out of my field, but," he said, "in the evenings," he said, "I can't get my wife to shut up long enough to see anything." He said, "I finally had to get on to it." He said, "We're looking for wildlife." She said, "Well, I'm talking to you." He said, "And you can go inside."
But I love you, honey.
But it's funny. He's coming from a construction business that's wide open. And he said, "Dude, that 30 minutes in the evening and 30 minutes in the morning, just sitting on the back porch and staring in the woods, like, it has totally reset him. Like, it's changed his mood." So I tell people in hunting and fishing, whatever, you got to find that, whatever it is. Hey, it could be in the back row of a Baptist church in Baileyton, Alabama.
That's right.
You got to find peace somewhere where you can sit, comprehend it, and let everything slow down and then start again. I think we live in a hustle, man, you know, and you're like me. I don't want to say no to anybody. So I just keep taking on projects. After a while, you can't only spread mayonnaise so thin on bread and nobody tastes it. So I'm like, I got to reel it in and start fresh.
Well, for me too, I remember, and I say this all the time, but I remember when nobody was asking, right? That was the thing. I remember when nobody cared. I remember when nobody, and I don't want to say nobody cared, but like you met me long time ago as a young man, but all my music days, Gerald Swindle used to show up for them Luke Duncan bar gigs, did many times. Gerald Swindle was there, but nobody cared. Actually. Yeah. Now, there was one place in Huntsville, Alabama, a couple of times you needed that.
Yeah, maybe. I was there.
You needed that. Oh, hell. There he goes. There he goes.
That's about what happened. That's about what happened. But you know what? I seen that journey. So, like, I think I respect the battle as much as I do the success. And that's the weird part of my career where I'm at. Like, I look at people and I respect their battle. I don't care about what the end goal is. I watch them and I'm like, that's cool. I mean, this guy's trying to.
The struggle, man. And your story to me, I love the cutting your hammer in half story, coming home from Beaver Lake. You're like, I'm done. Done. Like, I love that so much. And we've told that on here, and we told it on Boats and Pros, but you told it. But that is the American dream, man. And I know you and I, we've gone over this before, but to see folks say, and Lil Trey's doing it right now, right? He's trying to, in the opens, the LOB himself, people are like, I can't fish all night. I can't get off work. I can't do this. I can't do that. Can't. And it's like, yeah, you can. If you want it. Now, look, sometimes you get something, and when you get a hold of it, you go, oh, damn, that ain't what I thought it was. Too, right? So be careful what you ask for. But if you want it, you can figure it out.
There's a lot of bull riders. The bull riders at NFR all dream about drawing out that ranked bull. Sometimes they get on there and think, this is a little bit more than I wanted, but it's too late. But, I think when you hear people say they can't and they can't fish all nine, the deal is, I tell them, you don't have to fish all nine. You can still fish 3 and make the classic. But if you want to fish all 9 this year to go to the elites, that's the path you got to take. And I'm like, well, I can't get off work. I was like, well, if you qualified for the elites, what were you going to do anyway?
How would you do it?
I mean, how would you do it? What's the difference in 2023 having 9 weeks off and 2024 having 9 weeks off?
And you find out at the end of 2023, in whatever October that you qualified, and you got to figure out how you're going to make it work in 3 months on the
Well,
Elite Series
that's
against
what I,
you and Jason Christie and Carl Jacobson and all these cats, John Cox watch.
yeah, but I think that's what people don't understand is like, I think you're better off knowing going into this, you're fishing the EQs to make the elites. Your goal is to make the elites. So you're prepping for 24 when you start at 23. I think a lot of guys just used to fish 3. And after 3 tournaments, they're like, oh, crap, man, I made the elites. What am I supposed to do now? Well, it's November. Found out. It's really not an honest, fair shake to you to try to prep all that in November, December, and January to round up the sponsors to get on the road. So I think, as bad as it seems on the front side, I think it's going to groom guys and prep guys to go to that next level. Now, unfortunately for me, it's going to bring stiffer competition to the game I'm playing, which I respect the struggle, man. You know, like I told somebody this other day and they didn't know how to take it. I said, let me tell you something. I said, the group I fish against right now, and I don't even know them all. Like some of them cats, I don't even know their last name, but I know what they can do on the water. I think it's the strongest 104-man field I've ever competed against in my life from top to bottom. So what are we going to do next year? We're going to make that damn field even stronger, Luke. So like, we're going to get more than we asked for because you're going to get the best of the best. But I think the guys have time to get groomed. And you got those young guys and the young cats coming in. It's going to give companies like TH, Starbright, some of these companies a chance to look at them and say, this guy really brought it last year. We might want to invest a little money in it.
Do you think, I mean, obviously it's going to get harder and harder and harder. Do you think the industry though, because you're a guy I've always looked up to for multiple reasons, but you have been able to carve out a great career, a great living for your family. Do you think it's getting harder though for those young guys to really make a living sponsor wise from the industry? And I know you've always fixed non-endemic and endemic.
You know, I look at my nephew and I know what, you know, and Leanne and I made an investment in him because I actually sponsored Trey through my 13 deal with my Meta Series and Deception G-Man Series rods. I took some of my royalty money, invested into my nephew because I love him.
Waste of money.
Waste of money. Hey, trust me, I got to get on him all the time. So, like, there's a little opportunity, but I know what Trey makes. And he ain't like, he's just paying the bills. But I know some cats I know one guy that's his age has signed a $200,000 deal. Luke, there ain't two or three guys in the industry got a $200,000 deal. And this guy ain't even quite out of college good.
Amazing. I know who you're talking about too, I believe. That's a great deal.
So like I tell guys, it's out there. You just got to quit going to Mercury and ask for it because Mercury ain't got it.
Yes.
You got to quit going to TH and saying, hey, man, I want my club tournament. Can you give me 10 grand? TH would love to back you and support you in a way that they may could provide you a jack plate at a discounted price. They may could provide you some G-Force products, but you're not at that stage where you need a $40,000 investment in you. But there's companies out there that people aren't even tapping into that's got stupid money. And I think that's the blind side of fishermen that I always look at guys. I'm like, because I had somebody cutting up with me the other day. He said, man, you going to put some more of that just for men in that beard? I said, you damn right. Because when I signed that $100,000 deal, I'm going to laugh at every one of y'all. I said, because trust me, they going to pay some money to somebody someday. I said, you see, the anglers are looking at that different. I'm like, why are we looking at the Mercuries and the Phoenixes to try to support our entire career? Look outside the box, man. Look in the music industry. Look in the corporate industry. Look in the medical industry. There is money out there. As fishermen, though, we've just all been trained. Oh, I got to have a motor sponsor. Really, do you? Or can you sign a $200,000 deal, buy the motor you want to run?
Exactly. Take your stickers off of it.
Don't even put it on your shirt. I told other anglers that. I said, dude, go buy your motor. I said, because if you get a little deal off, you're going to have to wear a big logo. And if you ain't happy with that, you're not going to be happy. They're not going to be happy. I said, just go buy your motor and fish, man. So I do think, and the answer to that is, the younger generation are going to have a lot more options. They're going to have to be a lot more creative. They may have to do a little different route than what you and I seen coming up, because I'm seeing it change rapidly on what sponsors want, how they look at a value. You know, there's companies out there that have all the anglers ranked on what they bring to the table as far as sponsorship, how they check all the boxes, what he's worth. And they're not just buying impression views, you know, it's a package. So I think if you're a young angler out there, start tonight working on, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to backtrack, working on your YouTube and your social media. But let me correct all y'all. social media ain't YouTube, okay? So don't think, oh, I got 40,000 followers. Nobody gives a shit how many followers you got on that, okay? So listen, I said that I could just be mad. You can work on all platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You build a package so strong that when you get there, you can say, hey, I got 15,000 on YouTube, but I got 27,000 on Facebook, but my interaction's huge. I do Instagram Reels. That's what they're looking for, that package. And see, the older generation, Luke, that you and I are watching at my age and up now go out, a lot of them never wanted to do that. They never wanted to participate.
Oh.
Like, people laugh at me for being on TikTok, and I'm like, who's laughing now?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, can we talk about people not giving a shit about something? Let's talk about those blue check marks people are buying.
$14 and I'm verified. Verified what? So damn bad on social
media.
Verified
You a dumbass. You verified you a dumbass. I see them popping up in my feed. I'm like, what the hell? You got a blue check mark. Oh, you paid for that.
3,000 followers going, I'm verified. You're a verified dumbass because you're paying $15 a month to be verified.
Ricky Don Fishing. Ricky Don Fishing on Instagram. Verified. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
I'm kind of like Zach Rusher told me one time. He said, who really gives a damn if you got a blue check mark?
Who cares?
But see, that's the problem with the people I don't think are not. I think to have a successful fishing career right here, you need to study learning social media inside and out, how to advance in it, and your fishing skills on live scope and everything else, and every unit you can figure out. You got to figure out what social has to offer and what is powerful. You know, people don't understand. I know guys, I see their pages. They went out and bought the crap out of people. They got 250,000 followers and get 2 comments. You bought them, bro. You bought them. Bangladesh was good to you. You know, I'm just saying it. So, like, learn that. Learned it. A guy that has, look at Kyle Welcher's YouTube. Let's use him. He got what, 25, 30,000. I'm not sure how many followers, subscribers he's got, but he has a great interaction. He has a great viewers. You know, so on social media, when you see a guy that says, oh, I got 195,000 followers on Facebook, but I get 2 comments. No, you don't. Because if it's organic and you start it from the ground up, somebody out there that hired a very smart marketing person is going, hey, this guy ain't got 17,000 followers on Facebook, but he gets a 85% interaction. Who do you think they're going to sell a product to?
Exactly.
85% interaction. So, like, understanding social, how it grows your career, how you got to feed it, how you keep it going, and it's all a package. That's where I think guys, I think they want to do the work on the water and then come home. And I'm like, it kind of used to be that way, Luke, when we started. Like, if you took care of business on the water, you made some money. You still make money if you take care of business on the water, but you can make a whole lot more money taking business on the bank.
The guys that are a great combination of it. And even before social media, you look at Van Dam. You and I've you've spent a ton of time with him, way more than I have. But Van Dam's always been that guy. It's like the foundation of how your career should be as far as business side. And he killed it on the water, right? But he was always that kind of pros pro. You're like that. You're kill it on the water. Your sponsors love to work with you. You've had the same staple of sponsors for the most part. I mean, you've had some changes in your career, but for a long time, you've been with the same folks. And I think that is how folks need to set themselves up. But social media wise, I think it's very important. And I think you'll like this kind of topic is you got to figure out what you are, though. You got to figure out what your deal is. And what I mean by that is you got to be your damn self to a certain extent, and you got to be vulnerable. And I think that's something you do beautifully, and Leanne does beautifully, is you guys, and Marissa and I do that, I feel like, and it's not a gimmick. It's not something I go, oh, I'm going to get more likes because I talk about my family. I just like sharing what I got going on, good, bad, ugly, whatever. You guys do that, and people just, they love it. Like they love to, I can't tell, every time you post a video, my kids will be like, you see what G did today? You see, I mean, and it's like, you don't have to do it, but you do it. You share. But I feel like, is it a therapy for you to do that? To just be yourself and to talk, make a video about whatever?
I really do. I think sometimes when I go out on my porch and make a video, my fans may not understand it, but it's almost like therapeutic to me because sometimes it'll be something really bothering me. Like, I made a video the other day about high school anglers. Dude, that's been weighing heavy on me.
Yes. Yes.
Like all I see, because I was watching, I'll confess, I was watching MLF. I looked at bass. I'm watching all these tournaments, and it's like, you know, you see those ticker tapes, high school fishing and college X generation. And I'm like, man, I said, you know, what about little Trey? You know, what about all his buddies that didn't go to college? Like, how would you feel? So I said, all right, I said myself, I said, gee, how would you feel if he was 19 years old and you go, well, I can't quite get into college on a fishing team. I ain't smart enough, can't get accepted. Do you just quit? No, we still want you. You can still get there. So I think, so like sometimes it's just therapy to me to go out and do that. But like a lot of times, I tell my wife sometimes, she'll say, you haven't posted today. And I says, because I ain't got nothing to post. And she'll
exactly.
I'm not going to make something up, and I'm not going to go out there and turn the camera on and go, hey, guys, welcome to my channel.
What's up, guys?
17 times and buy my T-shirts. No, you want to buy my hat, buy my hat. But I'm not going to go make a video today to make, I mean, like, I think it has to trigger with me, whether I'm turkey hunting or I'm fighting with my dog in the truck. I'm like, I just kind of want to do what I'm doing and not like, I see guys that'll be on vacation and still posting fishing videos. Like, you know, it ain't their life. So I'm like, I think people read through that social media. And I can tell you one, I think it shines through, and I don't care what people say about it, if you like it or not. Matt Robinson is killing it. Killing it.
Just sincere. He's just sincere. He's just sincere.
Everybody knows he might weigh in a fur coat, but it really ain't that much of an act.
No, it's not.
But I think he's a guy that people resonate. They're like, hey, I like this cat, dude. He's having fun. You know, when I seen him running down the lake on blast off that fur coat that's blowing back over his head, I can't help but laugh. Because I'm thinking, you know, we need a little bit more of this in our world. Because it ain't hurting nobody. It ain't hurting a soul, and he's still catching them. So I tell all the young guys, I think you hit it right on the head, Luke. If you're going to start your social media, do not be scared of who you are.
Yes.
The accent, own it. Look at is it Macy Watkins, singer at the Classic, the old girl from Georgia. She got a thick.
Hey y'all, yeah, Macy, yeah,
crushing it. You know why? Because people don't run from your accent. Don't worry about who you are. Be yourself, and then when people meet you, they won't be disappointed because they'll say, "Hey, dude, he's really what he is." But I see people, and I've been around it, and I'm not being judgmental. I'm just being observant. They'll be one way, and they'll turn that camera around and go, "Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube," and it's like a full acting mode.
There's a lot of that. Yeah,
you weren't doing that a minute ago. So, like, when people meet you, do they think, "Where's that other person?"
I've been around so many fishing YouTubers at different times in my life, and it is amazing the kind of act they turn it on, and then what they are off camera as far as just like they're recluses, like they're introverted. It's weird, and it's good for them, whatever, they can pull it off. But I know guys like you and like a Zona and my buddy Carter Andrews and the Salt Latimer. Yeah.
Look at Latimer. He's Latimer whether the GoPro's on or not.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like my buddy Carter Andrews in the saltwater world. He's this big over the top character on camera, man, going crazy, woo, screaming when he catches fish. Hell, he's like that when you're in the damn garage playing ping pong. I mean, he's a wild man. No matter what's going on, he's real all the time. I think that's why people gravitate towards him in that world. I just spent a week with him too, by the way, fishing in Florida, and he's like that. Whether he's catching 200-pound Goliath grouper or 4-pound bass, he's that intense and crazy all the time.
You know what you're going to get. I think the younger fans out there or fishing guys don't understand. There are people out there who want to relate to somebody, and the younger fishermen have a chance to acquire the younger fans, but they just want to relate to you. You don't have to be bragging about your accomplishments or whatever. They just want to know your story, something that they could see themselves in. That's why you and I love music and lyrics, because every now and then I'll hear a song, send it to you, you'll send me one, and it's like, dude, I feel like I was living that song. So it automatically we want to go listen to that artist, because I'm like, dude, this guy's got to be the deal, because you felt at home with him. So that's the whole tricky part about fishing, is starting it young, and it's harder. Like, I'm watching it unfold now. And speaking of YouTubers, I'm seeing McMillan. He just went out there and crushed.
Yeah, he just He finished fifth at Guatemala too. And I'll be honest, I said on this show a long time ago, he and I have not always got along. Gee, I know you probably don't believe that, but there was a time in our life we didn't get along, and I haven't talked to Ben in a long time. I've been in a boat with Ben. Ben's a fantastic fisherman. He is he's really good with big baits. Really good. And I'm not shocked that he's catching them, because for those guys, and I said this about the guy from the Guggen squad, Turkla, when he fished MPFL, I said it to him on this show. I said, how's your ego going to take it when you get your ass kicked? Because you're going to get your ass kicked at some point. And he did, essentially, and he never fished tournaments again. He tried it for a year, but Ben has fished his whole life. Like Rob didn't fish, and I'm not trying to compare the two at all, but Ben has fished. Ben's dream was actually, I had him on the podcast one time, had him on a couple times. His dream was to be you, to be Iconelli, to be, a pro fit. That's what he looked up to. YouTube was his avenue into it. When he started making enough money, he had a corporate desk job. He quit, pursued YouTube, and then has made, a great living doing that, and now has decided to do it. And so failure for him is not an option, I feel like. And I think the guy puts in his work and also has a great network, right? Like, a lot of people. He's going to know what's going on when he gets somewhere. He's going to know what he needs to be looking for.
Well, he sure caught him out there. And I had someone
77 pounds.
Yeah, I had a guy call me today. He said, "Hey man, what do you think about that?" And I said, "Honestly, I don't know him." I said, "I just seen fish," and I said, "He knows what he's doing." I said, "It's apparent," but I said, "I tell you what it did. It gives some validity
for sure
to the because he's the first YouTuber to step out in the fishing that had that big a following and make like, hey, bring it." So I think it was like, I look at it and I'm like, I got to respect the game. He did what he had to do.
Well, I say it brings validity to him. You can't lump them all together, right? Because there's a lot of garbage out there on YouTube and social media. And look, that's whether it's music, the same with TikToks, whether it's music, fishing, whatever. There's a lot of fake it till you make it. But he's legit, and the guy's legit. It will be interesting for me, just knowing him a little bit over the years, if he does make it to the elites, to see how he does. Honestly, I mean, it's the guy can obviously catch them. We're 2 in. He's going to be leading the EQ points by a lot. 7 to go. It's a long season, but the guy's on fire. Top 5 at Eufaula, and he didn't even need a lawyer to do it. He didn't even need a lawyer at Eufaula.
I knew you had it in you.
Bubba, I've had it in me like 3 episodes. And I ain't been sued yet. I didn't even get a letter. I was disappointed that I didn't get a cease and desist. I couldn't wait.
I'm just confused how you could tell somebody you're going to sue them for sharing a post or viewing a post or talking about a post. I'm like, this guy's better than O.J. Simpson's lawyer. This guy's good, because like, if you look at social media, I'm suing you. I'm like, no, it don't work that way, bro. Use out the public
don't
body.
Quit. Yeah, if the post don't quit, you must have quit.
you in a public body of water. You're not in somewhere where you didn't agree to get filmed.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, it was. I don't want to linger on that just because that, good Lord, but was that not one of the most bizarre things? The line, the whole thing, the kid, the way it all shook out. Was it not just one of the most like top 5 most bizarre things that happened? Right? You've been at this a long time.
Crazy, and I think there was a lot more to it that probably ever know, but it was crazy how bizarre. Like, it was so bizarre. It's like, I don't even know. Like, I'm looking at it going, God, this is so weird. It's hard to even believe.
I had a dear friend of mine call me and tell me, it's a guy too, and say, man, I'm going to say this to you, but old Joe's a really good guy. And I know you might not believe that. And I said, hang on, time out. I said, before you finish, I'm just going to tell you, yeah, he may be a good guy, but he's a crazy asshole. It's obvious in that moment, right? Like maybe just that moment, but the whole thing was just so insane, man. And I think it just speaks to, you and I've talked about on this show, where our sport has gone from a freaking etiquette standpoint, from a desperation standpoint, from some anglers. Like, it's not the sport it was in the 90s and 2000s, and nothing is, neither is the NBA, NFL, whatever. But
NBA, I mean, LeBron can start traveling when they throw the ball in. He's traveled more in his career than Southwest Airlines has. Now think about that.
so true.
14 steps and 38 attempts at a back. My daddy told me, he said, I could kick 14 points in, son, and I'm 82 years old. But like, the fundamentals are gone, and that kind of old school mentality is gone. So like, I'm watching the sport like change as we see it, you know, and I'm like, yes, etiquette's different on the water, and it's not what it used to be, but there ain't much I can do. I mean, people in Atlanta drive more idiot proof now than they ever have. I can't change that. I can't change people from trying to do unethical things in a tournament. I can't change that. All I can do is say, I love fishing, and I'm going to stay in it as long as I can stand it. Like, you know, you just got to figure out it's going to change. The world will evolve. Now, do I think it resonates good with people when each league stands up and goes, hey, it's a little too far? Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, I'm a little old school, so I like that.
Well, I think change, this is something I have in my notes here. It's something I talked about with Carl on here about you. I've talked about it with Trey, but it's something that's always amazed me with you is I think you like to play up the fact you're shallow water. Yeah, I'm gonna go do this, gonna do that. And I'm just gonna go catch me 5 somehow. That old Andy Morgan thing. I'll figure it out at the end of the day, old grinder. But what I've seen with you, especially with forward facing sonar and electronics as a whole, is the fact that I do feel like your game has changed. Now, you are still that old slackliner grinder that's going to pick them off behind every damn body with your big salty chunk on a jig. You're going to catch one over here. And
Jig about that big.
yeah, and you're going to throw it, and you're going to throw your ball and out jig over here and catch one. You're going to throw a shaking head, catch one. Buzzer every now and then, square bill, whatever, but chatterbait. But I saw you immediately just adopt forward facing, not run from it, and put it in your game. But not only that, I don't think people realize, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot with this, but I don't think people realize how much time you try to spend on the water in the last few years, whether it's Gunnersville, Smith, Wheeler, Pickwick, whatever. When you're not at Elite Series, you're fishing. Like, you try to fish.
I'm trying to learn, and I still love it. I mean, and I think sometime, like, if Trey's home or if you live closer and I had somebody that I trusted to go over, I'd fish every day. Like, my wife would have to kill me, but like, I'm still a student of the game. I was talking to Justin Kimball today about a bait that he designed and talking about it. Mm-hmm. And I was asking questions, and he started laughing. I said, hey, bro, I'm still a student of the game. I said, I've watched too many guys go in front of me that got to a certain point of their career, said, I know enough to beat everybody. I'm not changing, or whatever the mentality is. I don't want to do that. You cannot do that. Now, I don't care how mad Randy Blockett gets. You got to put your live scope on and turn it on. You know, you really do, because I don't like it. I want to go fish against Austin Felix and the Johnson brothers and Seth and Gussie just because I don't like it. Well, you're an idiot. I mean, embrace the fact that it's here. It's a tool of the game. And I'll make the most random post, and the guy get on, I thought you was a sportsman and deer hunter, but you got live scope on. You're the devil. No, I'm not the devil. I'm just trying to pay. I got grandkids I'm trying to put through college, okay? And this is the newest weapon out there, and I'm going to learn how to fish it. I'm not going to just be closed-minded. I'm not going to say I'm never going to be a glide bait fisherman. I want to learn, because it's how it makes you better. And I think that's something I've always watched about guys, is who's still a student, like who's still really putting their time in. And I think time on the water can't be replaced. And I think time on the water rekindles your love of the game. And if you only fish when somebody tells me to fish, and that's what Leon and I've had many discussions about this. I said, the thing about pro angling is I fish most of the time when people tell me to fish.
Yes, these dates.
Right. So I said, think about this. If people told you when to go hunting and you couldn't pick the best days, after a while, you get enough of hunting, because you don't pick the weather. So I said, sometimes when you go home, I get to pick the weather. I get to pick the conditions. I said, so I go because I love it, not because it's a job. And I said, I think when you only fish when you have to, there are those 9 or 10 tournaments, and you go home and sit, you lose that passion for the game. You lose that passion. You know, I want to catch one. I want to go do this. So I think that's something that I really push myself to stay in love with the game.
Is there a technique? Because I mean, I've fished with you a good bit over the years, and I know what you like. But is there a technique in the last couple of years that you've added that's something that you never thought, this is a G-man, this is a check getter for me? Is there a bait or a technique?
Yeah. Yes, I think 100%. I think I threw a mag draft a lot more than I thought I ever would.
Okay.
I'm a student of the game of glide baits. I think they have their time and place. My weakness in fishing is I'm hands down the damn worst lily pad fisherman in the world. If we go to lake full of lily pads, y'all do not put me on your fantasy team, because I'm telling you, I can catch them in them sometimes, but I can't. I've really adopted a lot of that Demiki and suspended stuff. And dude, I even bought some of them sugar boogers with all them hairs in them that them other guys is fishing. I call them sugar boogers. I mean, I want to see what the hype's about. I went and bought something. I just didn't buy one pack, guys. I bought $190 worth from Bass Pro Shop of these big old turds with sugar booger hair through them. And I went out.
Sugar booger. What's the sugar booger? I don't know the sugar booger. What's the sugar?
Sugar cube looking thing that
yeah.
all the hairs through it. And then there's another company, Geek something Geek Bait or something like that, Geek Crack Bait or something. They make one that's like or G Crack. It's got all the hairs through it. I mean, if you truly want to understand fishing, go fish it a little bit, know its strength. So then what it does, it keeps you when you're fishing your strength, and you see this deal coming, you're like, hey, they finna catch them on this deal right here. So I think I'm not the only one. I mean, you thought you'd ever seen Jason Christie throwing a Demiki rig in the Classic?
That's right.
So I think there's certain anglers who realize these are going to be really, really good baits. You're going to see more and more guys. More and more guys. Coming back. But you know what? Look. Hey, watch this. You got your hand. Get your butt. That's what you got to do to people when they pull in on you at the lake. Hey, what are you doing?
Are you doing that to Leanne or Watson?
Both. But you know, look at what the guy just done at Toledo Bend. I've heard that people say, dude, he weights his hook. He's got this whole technique. He's created a whole technique of glide bait that fits his style. Like, so he's perfected something that he's good at. Like, so like, I'm looking at those things like, how quick does it take to learn that? When would it be a factor? And I'll tell you something else I don't think enough guys do. They don't fish with enough other people. As somebody asked me, we were talking about an angler, and they said, dude, that guy thinks he's the best in the world. And I looked at him, I said, that's because he's never fished with nobody that's really good. And the guy looked at me, I said, don't take that wrong, but that's what it is. I said, if you've never been in a boat with somebody to know where you're ranked at, try it sometime. I said, it may make you feel better or a lot worse, or may humble you. So I tell guys, if you have somebody to go fishing with that pushes you, that challenges you, go do it. I go fishing a little Sunday nighter for Trey. He'll get 3 or 4 fish up on me as soon as he does. Oh, old Trey bringing the heat tonight, Uncle G. And I'm like, son. And Leanne's like, what? I said, that drives me. I like to get 8 or 9 up and just come flaring back on him. She said, why? I said, I don't know. Just prove to me you can. I said, but it pushes me to do something. And I said, so I think so many anglers get comfortable with their talents and they just sit dormant on it. Like, I can't get no better. I'm doing it. Go fish with somebody that pushes you, man, challenges you.
I love that, man. I think it's important, especially with, like, you're talking about the new competition coming in. You better stay after it, because you will get lapped. You see that more and more all the time, man. The complacency when it sets in any sport.
I'm walking around the Classic, and I'm seeing that young college kid that made the Classic, and I really liked him. And I got to hang out with Tristan McCormick. He's one of the guys that I really like. I think he's one of those great young talents. And I'm looking around and I'm like, the sport of making money on the water is going to get tougher and tougher. Like, the competition is just so strong. But the opportunity to make money off the water, Luke, is incredible. I just think people don't understand. And a lot of anglers, they just want to go home and say, I caught them in 9 tournaments. I'm going to go do this till the winter's over. You can go hunt, you can take some time off, but you still got to be running all your channels and doing your work, because just during the off season between the Classic and the last 2 years, we built that entire project with 13 with the Inception G2 reel and the rods. 2 years in the work. And not only that, I've sit on the phone calling them saying, hey, here's a mom and pop store. I really want you to go visit. Like that project has never ended. I've done Zoom calls with Academy, with Sportsman. I've done meetings. Now I'm working on another big project with a company with Walmart. I come in for an hour early for practice at Seminole to have a Zoom call with Walmart. Why? Because it's a challenging opportunity. So like you can do these things, but when you're home, you can't just sit idle. If I'm not on the water, I got to be productive in some way. If not, I'm going to the farm. Like, that's the 3 things I'm going to be doing. So I tell all the young guys, keep your mind open. Do not look at fishing. I tell people when they go to iCast, here's what I made an analogy. I said, when I see anglers come to iCast, they're live scoping down the aisles like this. TH Marine, there's a sponsor right there.
Here's a resume.
That brush pile's been hit 72 times today, and none of them fish are going to bite, okay? So I said, don't walk through life looking through a straw like live scope. Walk around in there and look in that Coliseum and go to iCast. And when you leave there, write down the things you didn't see. Write down the things you didn't see. What was it? You know, and then that's where the money's at.
That's good. That's good stuff. Really good stuff. iCast has changed in that. Used to, you could do that a little bit. You could live scope an iCast and find a sponsor or two, maybe. But I think that it's not that anymore. And I think just because these companies get pelted, that's what I think young anglers need to understand is these companies get pelted on social media and through email and with people calling all day long. Hey, man, this is the fisherman's handshake.
Yeah.
Hey, man. All day, every day, man. They got their palms up. Guard you around them.
Young anglers need to go down there and shake hands. Make relationships. If you're a college kid, you're old enough to go down to the bar in the hotel, sit down and have a drink. You never know who you're going to be sitting by. It could be the purchaser for Walmart or Sportsman's Warehouse.
That's true.
You make a conversation about deer hunting or your kids with somebody that's got the biggest purchasing power out there. It's all about relationships and timing. And I'm like, dude, got to go down there with an open mind, shake hands, meet people. And the sponsors that you can help, you set up an appointment, you go work for them. You don't go ask from them. You go work for them that week.
Yes. That's so important, man. If you're listening to this and you're a young guy wanting to do this, or hell, an older guy in the industry trying to get in, I mean, it goes both ways. Like there's some etiquette to it with the sponsor thing, but there's a right way and a wrong way, I think, to get sponsors, to build relationships. And it damn sure don't come from walking up and going, hey, man, what can you give me? I fish real good. That used to be our joke at TH Marine. I fish real good. Can I get something? I like to fish. We don't have to pay you just because you like to fish. Everybody likes to fish. Hell, my 12-year-old likes to fish.
But you had a guy walk up to you and say, hey, I'm so-and-so with this. Luke, I've done a lot of studying on TH, and here's where I think I can really help you guys. I've noticed you're weak. And all of a sudden, Luke turns around and looks at Bowie, and everybody looks at each other and go, okay, Cat, let me hear what you got.
That's
right.
See,
you showed an interest in my company and how you can make me better.
No doubt.
And whether you might be right or wrong, you took enough time to study it and prepare something for me that tells me that you think you can go store to store, sell more. I just tell anglers that have you a game plan on what you can do for that company.
No doubt. Yeah. And study what they got. Know what they make before you get there and you just go in like this. I see a lot of young guys make that mistake. They don't even know the product line. They don't even know the biggest products you got. They just, Gerald's got that logo on his shirt. He's got that square TH Marine logo. Gerald's got Phoenix. Gerald's got they don't even know. They don't know the product line. I'm like, well verse yourself of what a company makes before you don't call 13 Fishing up and go, boy, I sure do like those Curados y'all make. I mean,
it ain't gonna go good. It ain't gonna go good, And I think that's the hardest thing about guys is where, and it's created a little bit of a monster because high school and college guys get a lot of stuff. They get shortcuts and they may get some product given to them because a lot of these companies just want to do something to try to help the younger generation.
Yeah.
But then why can't you pay me $25,000? Well, it's a whole lot different than giving you a jack plate paying you $25,000.
No doubt about it. And every little bit helps, whether it's a equipment, that goes towards your actual fishing, like rods, reels, baits, whatever, or equipment for your boat that helps the resale value, helps you make, potentially make money on your boat at the end of the year. You have to look at everything as what it does for you from a monetary level. I don't have to go buy 25 rods and reels and 13 sends me 25 rods and reels and 13. I'm talking to you right now. But Gerald here, if you want to send me some of them metas so I can break them in the yard, I'd appreciate it.
Hey, you ain't got enough strength on you. You couldn't get your kids to jump on them bad boys and break them.
I caught you first damn tournament I fished this year with little Trey. I caught keepers on that stupid meta rod, and I said, "Look at me! I don't even know what I'm doing to myself. I'm fishing with a swindle, using a damn swindle rod. I don't even know."
License went downhill.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here. They're not to kiss your ass. They're fantastic. Like they are for the money. And that was always your thing. You were telling me you were really excited through the whole process. I talked to you a bunch about it, but you wanted that price point, that $150 range. And dude, they are as nice of a rod as you will ever put in your hand in that price range. I put them against a lot of stuff out there. They're light, they're sensitive. The actions are just as I can imagine you wanted them to be. And they really turned out, man.
They did, and I'm really proud of that whole project. And I think, to me, I just always pictured myself being Trey's age and going down to Simmons or Academy and walking in and saying, "Man, I want to buy a really good rod, but I only got $150 now is what you and I were spending $79 on back when we started."
For sure.
And I think we've been able to provide that. I'm not telling anybody, can you not ever break one? You can break anything if you try hard enough. But do I think I give the customer what they want? Yes. Yes. And I mean, it was a push and shove, like it was a battle, but I've looked out for the fans. I mean, I look back on it now and I look back how long I've been working on it, because people say, "Man, your rod's out." It's like, I feel like I've been working on it since I was in the 8th grade. It was 2 years of just grinding, dude, and trying to get it right. We held it back a year. Of course, now I got Trey helping me, and I even sent some to Shannon. I give him some of mine, and he really likes them. But Luke, I'll take care of you. I'll get you a few fishing.
I don't want to. Don't worry. I don't want no I don't want no slackliner hats. I don't want none of your crap you're selling. Okay, I got to listen. I had to, you made me buy this Gerald Swindle jerseys over here on my wall. Like
I sent that to Marissa because I thought she'd look good.
You didn't see what she dressed up for us Halloween, boy.
When she goes to the beach, she wears that jersey as a cover up on a bathing suit. She goes up there to get something to drink back.
She wore it down in Cancun last year, and people was throwing damn rocks at her. I don't know what the deal was.
That was rolls of quarters, son. Your eyes are getting bad. Your beard that growing over your eyes. But yeah, if y'all looking for a slackliner hat,
here he goes. Hang on a second. Let's ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. The slackliner hat by Gerald Swindle.
If you ain't never jerked on one with a jig and make that thing sound like lightning hit,
easy. I didn't know where you were going with that.
Hey, it's a show enough slackliner kind of day. Get your hat. The PMA and the slackliner available now. My wife's about to launch a G-Man hat that I didn't want. I fought tooth and toenail. Ain't nobody in this damn world gonna buy a hat that says G-Man. I swear to God I did. I said, I don't want it. I ain't never wearing a hat with my own name on it because I'm going to look like a couple of other guys that do it. I'm going to look like I got Alzheimer's. I can't remember who I am. I ain't never wearing that hat. I said, I'm trying to hide from people, not get discovered. And my wife just poses a hat. She got a G-Man hat. So if you're a diehard fan and you want to support Lulu, there you go. But I ain't wearing it, okay? I'm a PMA and a slackliner. There you go, Luke. That's the truth about the G-Man hat.
I did see her post. And I know your stance on things like that. And I was like, well, he's changing in his old age.
Nope. She said, I want this hat. I said, then you can advertise.
I actually do in this shop have a couple of Luke Duncan's traveling circus hats that I have made, and my boys will wear them, but you won't catch me wearing them.
She said, you would never wear that hat. I said, no, I know who I am. And as soon as I put it on, I'm going to ask myself, you forget who you are?
Exactly. You know who you are.
She made some G-Man t-shirts, fan shirts, and I was like, I fought her and Shannon. I'm like, I just don't think that. And the guy built them. And actually, they sold really good. So she got to come in the living room and go, now who? I'm like, hey, you let me make the funny T-shirts and the serious one. You sell the fan clothes. So, yes. And we're actually going to have a shirt for every tournament. So, like, this stop is stop 3. So, we're going to call it stop 3 and drop 3. So, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we're going to reveal this week's shirt. And it's all about, it'll be a saying, a positive mental attitude. It could be anything. And I've been working on it. So, before every tournament on Sunday, the night before the tournament starts practice at 6, we're going to drop that. So, it'll be stop 4, drop 4, stop 5, drop 5. And they're limited. We're only going to have like a thing, 250 of them. So when they're gone, they're gone.
Very cool. So let's talk about that real quick. You're at the campground at Lake Murray already. Practice fixing to start rolling here. 14th in AOI after 2. Hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit.
That don't mean nothing. We got to bring it, so.
Well, I know it doesn't, but would you rather be 14th or would you rather be 114th?
And you made a valid point on that, okay? So listen.
There's some boys that would rather be 14th. They would trade with you right now.
I tell Trey, don't ever look at them points. But yes, we're going in stop 3, and we just come into Lake Murray. We got the camper set up. Lulu's got all her stuff set up, and we're going to be here a week and then on to Santee. But she said, what do you got planned tomorrow? I said, me and Carl Jockers is going fishing. She said, what? I said, we're going to drive to Lake Monticello and go fishing. She said, y'all are like kids. I'm like, well, we're here. I'm excited to be back out here. I think the MLF showed us what was in here. Like, the lake really looked good on that show. I mean, James Watson, for God's sake, caught 23 pounds. You think
they was biting? You know they was biting. At least one day. He caught 22 pounds one day. You know they was biting. Bless his heart.
He wanted to win that one bad. I brought it to my house after that, and I took him turkey hunting. And I'm just like, I'm going to tell you what. Michael Waddell said he took Theo Vaughn turkey hunting. He said, son, you have no idea what big mess this was. He called me last night. I said, yeah, I do, because I took a guy named James Watson turkey hunting. Pretty much in the same way. I mean, no matter how much you tell him to be still, Watson ain't going to be still.
No. He didn't kill a turkey because I didn't see it on social media, and he brags about everything.
Well, he asked questions like, can we use a high-powered rifle? Can I throw it? I'm like, no. So, like, we are out on the road. We got them back-to-back. And then I think we're only home a week, and we got Lake. So the Elite Series is hitting full spring. So where are you and your boys going fishing at next? I seen y'all been sneaking off.
We're fixing to go try to catch turkeys. That's what we're trying to catch right now. It's a turkey hunting. Just that's the focus right now. Big time. Well, we're gonna go somewhere this summer. I mean, we're fishing around home a good bit right now, but we was down at Smith for their spring break for a couple of days. We're gonna go smallmouth fishing. We did that last summer. We're gonna do that. I just got back from Florida with my buddy Engelman from Turnpike and Carter Andrews. I had those two guys on the boat with me for 3 days of fishing, and I don't think that's a trio the world never needed together. But it really, dude, it worked out, and we had a great time. It is 3 of the biggest smart asses I've ever been around, myself included in that, just throwing darts for 3 days. It was, woo, boy, you better have thick skin.
Thick skin. I think this summer I'm going to try to slip off down. If any way I can do it, find time, I'd love to go down to the end of the world, down there to Venice, and fish and bass fishing and inshore fishing down there and catching bass back in that backwater.
Yeah, we can go do that. They may have a liquor drink or two down there too.
Yeah, we could take Trey, which, I mean, to beat him to the Gators, and Watson, and
somebody's got to tie stuff on for us and make sandwiches.
Yeah, listen, Trey ain't gonna make sandwiches.
No, I know that.
Bread and a Ziploc with no peanut butter. You look how much he weighs. Eating ain't his focus, son. I don't know if he's trying to join a track meet over in a third world country, or he's trying to catch bass.
This man tried to tell me, we were going down the road one day, and I mentioned something about one of my boys playing basketball. He said, son, I started all 4 years of high school. I was a blah, blah, blah point guard. I said, Trey, now listen, I know you went down there at Locust Fork. I know it's a small school. They ain't nobody had your ass playing basketball. Nobody had you playing basketball.
Hey, I went and watched him several times. He could handle the ball and he could pass it. But we left one night. I put my arm around him. I said, Trey, I'm going to tell you straight up. He said, what's that, Uncle G? I said, you ain't no Swindle. He said, "Well," I said, "You don't scare enough like your uncle did." I said, "Son, if I touched it and the cheerleaders was looking, I shot. I didn't care." I said, "You scared the shit. You ain't got no swindle left in you."
Them girls is looking you putting it up.
I just lighted up. It didn't matter. We didn't have a 3-point line. I was making my own back then. Coach's bitch screaming. I'm like, "That'd be all right."
The baskets were leather then too. Wasn't it like the square hoops back then?
Yeah, that ball didn't have much air in it, son. You had to put some oomph into the dribble it, back in the day. But we ought to do that. We ought to plan us a trip down there and take a Trey and take us a gang of them down there and just have us a sure enough low budget live right down there at the end of the world in Venice.
I've
just
done
right
it.
out.
I did it. Yeah. Let's do it. I'm game. And this is recorded. Whenever I text you about that after the show, be sure to respond because I have a record that this was talked about.
I ain't scared to go. I'm gonna still try to get home. Leanne said we had a week off, and I said if I can get to Tennessee when I get home, I still might go to my Tennessee farm after Santee, and try to kill me a turkey, and I'll still go to Venice this June or July.
Let's do that too. All right, I'm gonna ask you one more question. I got one more. We see guys like Rick Clunn, Paul Elias, Larry Nixon, all these guys just love it. They've been at it forever. You're nowhere near retirement. I know that. But do you have in your mind, do you and Leanne talk about this? Do you have a plan of when you want to slow down?
I tell her sometime when I get burnt out, I'd love to slow down. And then we'll talk sometime about it. And she had somebody talking to her the other day, and they said, "When do you think he retires?" She said, "Well, the day he decides to quit, I won't even know." And I tell her all the time, as long as I still love it, okay, and as long as my heart's in it, and as long as I'm competitive, that's all that matters to me. And the day that I feel like my time is done and I've run my course, my wife will be the first to know, but it'll probably be when I'm standing on stage.
That'll be an interesting day if that day ever comes. I don't think it'll ever come because you love him more than anybody ever met.
When I do, if and when I do retire, y'all better get the popcorn because I'm writing 2 books and y'all gonna want to read them both.
We and you have had that conversation a couple of times. I can't wait.
It's gonna be Egos, Logos, and Psychos. That's the second book. The first book's gonna be called A Whole Lot of Want To. I've already got most of them written, but I'm gonna write 2 books.
I love it. Gerald Swindle, you my man. G-man, everybody.
About to scramble me some eggs, cut up some turkey breast left over from last night, chop it up, put it in some scrambled eggs, put it on some loaf bread, and if that ain't country, y'all kiss my ass.
Gerald Swindle, everybody.
See you, bro.
Well, all right, that wraps it up with Gerald Swindle, the G-man, my dude. Great human being right there. I always enjoy our conversations. I apologize for his service. Wi-Fi. He's in the campground out there at Lake Murray. Got a little spotty a few times, but always it's worth it. It's worth it. Just to get to spend an hour with him there. I appreciate his time and his insight, man. And if you're a guy that's coming up in the sport, if you're a young man or if you're someone looking to get into it, I know he gives out a lot of advice, information like that a lot on social media, but just pay attention to those words. And even what I said there, there's a lot of good in that for young anglers, in my opinion, on what was just talked about there and some of that. And hope y'all enjoyed that as much as I did. I always love getting to spend time with G, and I don't get to do that as much these days. And glad we could do it virtually. And hopefully he kicks ass and takes names this week at Lake Murray. Appreciate the W Sauce for bringing you the sauce. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in week out, low budget live. My voice sounds really great right now. It's going out. I'm going to take y'all out with a little song called 64. Got some requests for that instead of Biloxi Blues on the back end. This is 64. It's about a highway that runs through my hometown that goes from Chattanooga to Memphis and basically a bunch of freaking speed trap towns in between. And I wrote this song after I got back from being on it at like 3 a.m. one time, and I realized there's really nothing around, and I felt like I was losing my mind. 64. I will see y'all next week.
it's full of lost souls and broke down misery. I'm out here tonight and I'm looking for my baby. You see, she left me standing right there beneath that